So, today we're going to talk about something a little different: the hidden cost of our digital souls. We're going to dig into the unseen burdens that come with our digital lives. I mean, think about it. We spend so much of our lives online, right? But have you ever really, truly stopped to think about what that's costing us? Not just our time, but what our digital selves are demanding from our real selves. Yeah, let's get into it. You see this right here? This is that feeling of, well, performance. Like you're constantly on stage auditioning for likes and validation. It's one of those invisible strings pulling at us all the time. You feel this pressure to create this perfect, curated life online that, let's be honest, can feel totally different from who we actually are. And it goes even deeper than just that performance anxiety. It's this really unsettling, kind of sick feeling of losing control, you know? Like you're just stuck in this endless loop of scrolling and consuming, and you just can't seem to break free. Wow, a contagious disease. That's coming from a 12-year-old. I mean, what a powerful way to put it. And it really hits home, doesn't it? It perfectly captures just how widespread this whole thing is. It's like an epidemic of distraction, a compulsion we all feel. Okay, so the big takeaway here is that these feelings, they're not just happening to you or me in a vacuum. No, they're symptoms of a much bigger issue, this unseen weight of being always on. So check this out. Research from the London School of Economics points out that this always-on culture actually creates two totally opposite but equally problematic extremes. On one hand, you've got the hyperconnected. These are the folks living in what's basically an infinite workday, where work and life just bleed into each other. Total burnout. But then on the flip side, you've got the hypoconnected. People who don't have the right access or skills and get left behind, totally marginalized. See, both are a direct result of a system that just wasn't built with our well-being in mind. So, if any of this is sounding familiar, that anxiety, that feeling of lost control, the burnout, here's something really important I want you to hear. It's not your fault. Seriously, this isn't about you lacking willpower. It's a fundamental problem with the design of the digital world itself. All right, so let's pull back the curtain, shall we? Let's take a hard look at the system humming away behind our screens. How exactly is it designed? And more importantly, why does it make us feel this way? It really all boils down to this one concept: the attention economy. The Center for Humane Technology explains it perfectly. All these tech companies are in this massive, never-ending race for one thing: our attention. It's a limited resource, and they need to capture it to make money. It's that old saying, right? If the service is free, you're not the customer, you're the product.
Now, this is where it gets really fascinating. This whole economic model wasn't just invented out of thin air. No, it was built on decades of psychological research. I mean, we're talking all the way back to B.F. Skinner and his pigeons in the 1940s. Fast forward to the 90s, and scientists are figuring out how to train the brain to seek rewards, essentially limiting our free will. And then you get B.J. Fogg's lab at Stanford, which the Five Rights Foundation calls a hothouse for Silicon Valley, basically taking all these psychological tricks and baking them right into software.
And this quote from Tristan Harris, who used to be a design ethicist at Google, just nails it. He says, "These are not neutral products." Think about that. The point was never just to build helpful tools for us. The real goal? To build habits. To use these persuasive psychological techniques to keep our eyes glued to the screen. And here is a perfect real-world example of what we're talking about. This is called a dark pattern. Just look at this prompt from Snapchat. See how it uses emotional language like "please turn on," and notice how the OK button is highlighted, practically begging you to click it? That's not an accident. It's not giving you a fair choice. It's deliberately designed to nudge you, to manipulate you into doing what the company wants. Okay, so let's recap. We have a business model that's all about grabbing our attention and a design philosophy that's all about persuasion and manipulation. So what's the actual real-world price we're paying for all this? Well, for kids, it's absolutely relentless. Get this. One study found that a staggering 95%, 95, of popular children's apps have at least one type of advertising. And a lot of the time, it's cleverly disguised to look like it's just part of the game. So from the get-go, the line between playing and being sold to is completely blurred. And the impact just ripples out from there, affecting all of us. The Center for Humane Technology has laid out these huge societal harms, and they all stem from this race for our attention. We're talking about everything from skewing our entire sense of reality with these algorithmic echo chambers, to destroying our ability to focus, degrading our mental and physical health, and even polarizing our politics. The consequences are massive and seriously damaging. And look, this isn't just some abstract theory. The science is in. A huge meta-analysis that pulled together a ton of different studies confirms it. There is a clear, undeniable link between higher social media use and symptoms of anxiety, depression, and lower self-esteem. And it's hitting young people the hardest. This next one, it's a pretty chilling admission. This is from a former vice president at Facebook. He's talking about the very dopamine-driven feedback loops that they built. You know, the likes, the shares, all those notifications. And he says flat out that they are destroying how society works. He's saying they've killed civil discourse and cooperation and replaced it with misinformation and mistruth. That's coming from someone who built the system. So, when you boil it all down, the real cost isn't just about what these platforms are doing to us, it's about what they're taking from us. Think about it. Every single hour you spend endlessly scrolling is an hour you didn't spend on a hobby you love, or being outside, or having a real deep conversation with a friend. That's the opportunity cost. It's the life we're missing out on. Okay, but here's the good news. We are not helpless in this. The story does not end here, because there is a way forward. There is a path to taking back our attention, to reclaiming our own minds. And this right here proves it. It shows that a totally different way of designing things is possible. On the left, you've got a classic dark pattern, using fake urgency, only two left, to pressure you into buying something. But on the right, a fair pattern. It just gives you neutral, helpful information. This is proof that technology can be built to help us, to inform us, not to manipulate us. So, what can we do on a personal level? Well, here are a few ways we can start reclaiming our lives. First, intentional disengagement. That means setting real, firm boundaries with your devices, maybe a digital detox. Second, actively cultivate real-world connections. Prioritize seeing people face-to-face. And third, become a mindful consumer. Don't just passively let the algorithm feed you stuff. Actively choose what you engage with. But look, taking personal action is huge, but it's only half the equation. The bigger picture is that the system itself needs to change. And the encouraging thing is, it's starting to happen. We're seeing new regulations pop up, like the age-appropriate design code in the UK, which is forcing these platforms to protect young users. We're also seeing lawsuits targeting these deceptive design practices. And that really brings us right back to the main point of this whole thing, which Tristan Harris says so well here. Our ability to live the lives we actually want to live is a design problem. It's not just on us, it's not just a personal responsibility thing. We have to demand better design. We need technology that actually serves humanity's best interests, not just the bottom line of the attention economy. So, I'll leave you with this final thought. Your attention has become the most valuable currency in the world. And right now, it's being sold to the highest bidder. The real question is, what are you going to do to buy it back?